My name is Bakko. We met earlier. You're Jason from Owl.
Yes, sir.
So this kind of came together pretty quick. Unrelated to what I was doing here today, someone contacted Decibel Geek from your guys' camp about setting up something down the road later.
Was it Renee?
You know, all it was a copy of an email that they shot out to all the writers.
Okay, cool.
And then I saw that this afternoon, and then when I got here, I saw you guys were actually opening for.
It just worked
Fuel.
out. Yeah, that's cool.
And favorite band of the day. So.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I'll have to give you that $5 I owe you. Listen, we're really stoked to be here with these guys. It's awesome.
You know, I don't know why they moved this event out in the middle of. It used to be in downtown St. Paul.
They moved it because there was flooding last year.
But
I guess they decided they liked it better here.
Well, I don't know. I've gone to it a lot in the past.
We had a fucking blast. I mean, people were digging it.
You guys are tight.
Thank you.
Well, why don't you tell me a little about yourself? How did you get involved with Chris and Owl and all that stuff? What were you doing before that?
Chris and I we met. We were introduced through a mutual friend in a nightclub in Los Angeles years ago.
Yeah.
And this girl who was a friend of mine, she said, I want you to meet this guy. I think you guys should know each other. And she just, I don't know, she has this thing where sometimes I don't know, she just, something about the way she said it was like, it's important that you meet this guy. I'm like, okay, you know?
Yeah.
And I met him, and he's got like this real winning smile, and I'm like, oh,
sure.
Hey. I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, I play in the Cult. And I'm like, shut up. Like, really? You know, I just moved to Los Angeles.
Where are you from then?
Bay Area.
Okay. Oh, so not there.
San Francisco, yeah. San Jose area. You know, and like one of the first guys I meet is, what do you mean you're in the Cult? What are you talking about? You know? And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And we just became really good friends, and we would go on hikes together a lot. And eventually, you know, he saw that I was doing stuff in music as a guitar player, and I would see him doing his thing. And then when he wanted to turn Owl into what it is now, he asked if I would, you know, help out. And I said, okay, sure, yeah, I'd love to, because I'd heard songs, and fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then I recorded the first record with him, and there was another guitar player, a buddy of ours, Eric Bradley, who we were good friends with in Los Angeles, and we all play in different bands together. But it's the funny thing, the story that I like to tell is funny, is I didn't know I was actually an official band member until I got a copy of the CD, and my name was like one of the ones in the big print.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I guess I'm in the band. You know? Nice. So that was when that came in 2008. I think.
And do you know anything about the incarnation of why it was called Owl, or?
Yeah, well, it's his last name, Wise.
Oh,
it's Wise Owl, and and it goes back to his Irish heritage, and I mean, you'd have to ask Chris more about that.
Sure.
But it has to do with his last name. You know.
Is he still playing with Ace as well as doing this, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So he just started. Well, his tenure with the Cult, like he basically just ended. He just left the Cult to go work with Ace.
Really?
So now he's permanent Ace guy.
Okay. I mean, because Ace doesn't really tour as much as you kind of fly in.
This year he's touring a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I know he's playing Iowa tomorrow. This is off base.
They've got a brief run of about a week, but then they're going to be out all September. They just did a whole tour through Europe. Before that, I think they were in Australia.
Yeah.
And Ace is going to be his full-time gig.
Nice.
Yeah. No,
it'd be nice if Ace actually stayed busy again.
Just like the Cult was, you know, which he was in.
Is the Cult done then, or did they?
No. The Cult's going. They just schedules didn't line up, and he had promised Ace he'd do. Schedules conflicted, and he had already promised Ace, and so that's how it ended up. But
things get kind of mucky, especially.
It's cool for him. It's something new, and he's excited about it. And you know, I know I actually saw Billy Duffy a few weeks ago when I was leaving LA, and we talked for a few minutes, and he was wishing Chris, you know, he was saying, oh yeah, you know, I'm glad to see Chris doing this, and you know, we're doing some new stuff, and it's kind of like it was sort of cool for everybody.
Yeah. I'd have a hard time describing like your playing style. You're very airy.
Oh, thanks.
what kind of influence? Where does that kind of come from?
That is like the Andy Summers.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, the Police is one of my favorite bands ever, and with this band, because Chris obviously he does like a lot of the time he started doing lead bass. You know, he does a lot. And
I was surprised. I didn't know much about him other than I'm a big Kiss fan.
Yeah.
So I know things about Ace. I know who's in and out.
Yeah.
And then I had heard about this band a little bit ago, and then I knew he was in the Cult. I didn't know until now that he was out. So.
Well, this is now that he's playing with Ace, he's excited because Ace kind of gives him a lot of free reign. He gets a bass solo every night. He gets to do a lot of that crazy stuff that a lot of people didn't know for a long time that he's capable of. And like the only time he would really showcase that stuff would be with Owl. But Chris is amazing. I mean, he's one of the best. He's definitely the best bass player I've ever known. I mean, he's insane.
Good singer too.
Yeah, he's a good singer, right? He's got his full package, that guy.
Just looking at the overall thing though. But will you guys ever do a show with Ace, like Owl and Ace, or?
That's up to Ace. I mean, obviously we would. That'd be amazing.
Now, have you met Ace at all? Or?
I haven't met him yet.
Okay.
No, I haven't. I would love to, obviously.
Are you a fan of his stuff?
Oh yeah, of course, dude. He's a fucking legend,
Right.
I mean, I haven't met him yet.
But the Police and Kiss don't exactly go hand in hand.
Well, it's
style-wise, I'm a fan of both, but
Yeah, I mean, my guitar heroes. My two bands are Van Halen and the Police, and it's a weird combination.
It is,
but together it's
a good combination.
It sort of combines the crazy, obviously full electric, and just falling. Eddie likes to say he likes to fall down the stairs and land on his feet. That's his style of playing. And there's nobody better than Eddie. But then,
he's amazing.
But then with the Police, the songs were so good, and everything about that band was so amazing. And the guitar playing had this cool, it was a soundscape, it was an atmosphere. And when you're in a band like this where...
Very different from song to song, too.
Yeah, no, the Police, I mean, God, I could write a book on how amazing that band is. Andy, there's a specific chord that I will sometimes use that I call the Andy Summers chord, which is like, I don't think it's anything too crazy. It's just like sort of a minor seventh sort of thing with a certain inversion on it, but that kind of, I don't know, it just appealed to me. And when I found myself in this band, particularly when we play live and we, like what you saw tonight, we opened stuff up, we jammed a lot. They actually told us when we played tonight that we needed to extend our set by about 15 minutes.
Nice.
So we were like, okay.
Bands gotta love that. Like when would you play low?
Some bands love that.
Yeah.
Some bands it's not a good idea. With this band, it was great, and because that's kind of like when we really get into our element, And so Chris will go off, and I'll just start throwing down certain chordings, and I don't have a lot of effects, but I kind of use them in a way where it spaces it out, and but yeah, I mean, yeah. So I would say that if there's a guitar player I would point to for that, it would be him.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely see the correlation. Like I said, you have a very airy sound and very hard rock at times too. I mean,
it's interesting to pull the two together, and like kind of like the transition, because it's a 3-piece. Mm-hmm. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. Delay pedals are your friend.
And I think as a musician, it's easy to sit back and enjoy and watch like a band that's clearly worked together. Because much can be said about jamming and extending stuff, but it's. I don't want to get too deep into it from my perspective, but it's not as easy as people think, and at the same time, it's a lot more. It takes narrow than people think too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that it's hard, but it requires an understanding that
in your case,
it really just kind of builds with time. And I mean, with us, it was there pretty early. We definitely never had to force it like that. That stuff we never practice it. So anytime we rehearse, the songs are tight. We don't extend stuff in rehearsal. So anything that you see live that's drawn out, that's being improvised completely. But we know each other, and we kind of look at each other, and somebody takes charge at some point and says, "All right, we're bringing it back home." And
is it fair to assume that you guys write very much in the group kind of element, or is it more here's what I got. Let's work on this and put it together.
Before this record, it was very much Chris coming forward saying, "Here's the songs. This is what I got. Put your stamp on it. You know, put your style." With the latest record, which isn't out yet, but it's a little more coming from all angles. This is definitely Chris's band.
Yeah.
It's his vision.
Yeah.
We serve his vision. But as time has gone on, he's the trust is growing. And with that comes more ideas and more arrangement ideas. And I mean, we all have a lot of influence, but sometimes it's not in direct ways, like I don't know, like Dan has a lot of influence in ways that you wouldn't expect in terms of keeping the band sort of.
You say that because he's a drummer, and drummers are all stupid, right?
Mostly. Well, he has a unique perspective on keeping us on point.
Yeah.
Chris is good at because Chris produced the record, so it's tough because it's tough when you're a producer. I mean, that's what I do for a living in Los Angeles. I'm a producer.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything I would know?
I'm actually the latest thing I'm working on. Well, I didn't produce it. I just mixed it. But Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses. I just mixed his first solo record.
When's that coming out?
I don't know. There's no release date for that yet. But that wasn't a production job. In no way was I a producer on that. But we've been working on that for a long time. And actually developed a really good working relationship through that.
He's got to have some stories.
You can't even imagine. I have stories from fucking hanging out with that dude that are insane. Like, he invited me to a Guns N' Roses show last year in Las Vegas, and like, I'm still trying to piece together what happened that night. I'm not kidding. It was fucking nuts. Dizzy. So that's like, mostly it's local artists, but every once in a while it's something like that, which is super fucking cool. But the point is just that when you're producing a band and you're the singer or band leader, it's hard to divest yourself from that.
Oh, certainly.
And Chris does a pretty good job of that. He does a really good job of that, actually. And it takes a while. That's, the trick to that is having the time to like do your parts, like sing your vocal, record your bass, whatever it is, and then step away, let the other guys do their thing, and then go back and be able to evaluate it.
You almost need to get away from it a little bit just to come back to it fresh.
You have to get away from it so that you can see it from the perspective of a listener and not the perspective of a band member.
Great way to put it.
Yeah, so we've never worked with an outside producer. I think the band would be open to it. It would be cool, but we just haven't. We've done it all ourselves, and it's turned out pretty cool. So.
Well, why don't we wrap up with talking about the new record? It's coming out July 28th, is that right?
Sounds about right.
Okay. That's the information I got a few hours ago.
Sounds good to me.
What do you want to tell me about it? Why should I listen to it?
It's fucking cool, man. It's the first song on the record is one of the songs we played tonight, and
I remember he mentioned basically like this is the first song on the record.
Yeah, and it's the record. It's short, but it's tight, and it kind of. It's sort of like this really compact version of everything that this band does best, but kind of expanded in both directions. So the heavy shit gets heavier, the atmospheric shit gets more atmospheric, the melodic shit is. Am I swearing too much?
No.
Okay. It's kind of like it focuses really hard on each aspect, and it's really cool. I mean, I don't know what to say beyond that, but it's tricky. These new songs are tricky to play live. We started rehearsing them. We're going to be playing some more of the songs on this next run of shows we're doing. And because they were crafted in the studio, you're not thinking about how you're going to translate them live.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're sitting there trying to figure out, like, oh, fuck, this is, okay, how do we do this? All right, you cover this part, you do this, we'll switch this part around, but it's going to work. Yeah, it'll be great. And I think the fans that have heard it have really responded really well, and I think it sort of showcases the best of what this band has to offer to the people that like it, and to those that don't, it'll be something that'll catch their ears. That's my.
Well,
take.
I look forward to it. Jason,
I wish I did. Pleasure.
Thank you for
I wish
your
I had
time.
something to give you to go.
Well,
with.
you gave me the one CD, so I'll be sure to check that out. But I probably heard a bunch of it tonight. And again, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful
Pleasure,
evening.
man. That was fun.